Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
So, Roberta, how are you, kiddo?
I'm really great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. And my guest, for everybody to know, this is Roberta Hladek, who is the co-founder of the Energetic Matrix Church of Consciousness, EMC2. And it's actually, I always call it the AIM program. So you aim to help people, don't you? That's why, I know it doesn't stand for that. AIM stands for, tell us again.
The all-inclusive method, which just means that everything's included in the program. You don't have to take any drops like we used to have to take remedies. And then you don't have to come into the office. Everything's just done. It's like one package deal.
Right. One package deal, but it's a good deal. And we certainly like, for those of us who've been in this program for years, we really attribute it to a lot of very good things that have happened and are happening with us. And I just wanted to ask you something. Are you familiar with the specialty called positive psychology?
Yes.
It's interesting. I just spoke to a very high-powered urologist who called in from Boston to talk about a procedure for prostate cancer. And I was just mentioning it, and he said, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, my gosh, you should look up positive psychology. It really is a whole new specialty." And after I talked to him, he said, "You know what? Maybe I ought to be knowing about it so I could help my cancer patients." I said, "Absolutely."
Absolutely, yeah. You know, that's a great doctor that he's interested in even looking at it. You know, sometimes we get kind of in our own group of what we're doing and we don't always look out at other things that are going on. I try to kind of look at everything and see what else is out there because they're all tools. Right. And there's not one magic pill or one magic remedy that's going to help us. We have to use everything that we can. So Stephen used to always tell me to use all my weapons.
Oh, is that what he would say? He would
always say, use all your weapons. You know, whatever you got going on, use them. So
that's
I'm like,
true.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good thing to know. Yeah, that is true. I like that. Use all your weapons. Well, okay, so now we have a lot of chaos in the world, and I know a lot of people have been very upset, and then we're also having a lot of suicides. And, you know, I think every time we get a suicide from a celebrity who we believe has everything, you could see everything is not that, right?
Right. Yeah, you know, some people think, well, if I was just famous or if I just had a lot of money, my life would be so much better. But you see these people who are famous and who have a lot of money and they're miserable. And we just have to kind of be happy with ourselves. And when we're happy with ourselves, then a lot of other things will come our way and opportunities. And, you know, these recent suicides have been just, I'm having a hard time sometimes dealing with those. I just think, my goodness, these people are in the prime of their lives, or what we so-called call the prime of our lives. Do we really know if it is or not? We don't. But, you know, and you just think they have everything going for them. They have fame, they have brains, they've got these wonderful businesses that they've got going on, and right. Other people are struggling, and here these people have everything, and what is missing? And it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, and I think maybe like Kate Spade, maybe she should have been on AIM, because maybe AIM would have given her another tool. And I'm not saying that AIM is the end-all, be-all, but it helps. There's a lot of positive affirmations on our program. We send out a lot of positive. All of our energy is positive. And we remove, as best we can, each one of us, our negative energies. So, and I think that maybe that would have given her and some of the others that have gone, you know, maybe that would have given them a little bit more peace of mind.
The interesting thing is these people who have a lot of money and they've been going to psychiatrists, they've been trying to help themselves. It just hasn't worked. Something's missing, isn't it?
Yeah, happiness. They're just not happy. They're not fulfilled, whether it's, you know, family, whatever it is, that there's something that's missing in them and they just can't see that. I think mental health and depression is something that we try to avoid, and we don't like to talk about it. And I recently had a friend of mine who's had a real difficult time emotionally and been on the verge of not great things, and trying to walk them off the ledge, so to speak. And it's really opened my eyes to it because I've never been that close to it. But, he had a lot of death in his family, mother, uncles, and then colleagues of his that were young. Like I'm talking about, he's told me that some of them were as young as 54 and who died just from natural things, but maybe a heart attack or whatever, but not suicide, but different things. And he said it just kind of hit him that, what is he doing? And then he thought back on his childhood, and it just got into this whole big thing. So I think if he would have had the positive psychology, maybe that would have helped. I don't know, but he's come out of it on the other side. But a lot of it he attributed to being on AIM. He said if it wasn't for that and clearing out some of the stuff that had him in these spirals, he wouldn't have been able to climb out of it. Plus, he's done a lot of work with positive affirmations and trying to keep himself in a positive way and listening to different people's, CDs and that kind of thing. But yeah,
it is.
It's something we need to really look at, and this positive psychology is another way of dealing with it.
Absolutely, it really is. And it can be used as an adjunct to so many other specialties.
Definitely. Like I said, there's not just one thing that we can all do, because if there was, we would all be doing it, but there's so many things out there to help us, so many tools. So whether it's, maybe having to have an operation, maybe it's meaning to take a drug, whatever it is, like Stephen always said, you just got to use all of the weapons that you have available.
Right.
And if he was never against taking medicine if you needed to take it. He was not one of those that never took anything. If you got to have it, you got to have it. And like he said, if you broke your arm, you're not going to go on the AIM program and have it. You got to have it fixed.
Right.
So there's time and place.
Yeah, that's right. You have to. It's like having a toolbox, isn't it?
It sure is.
A screwdriver isn't going to fit something that a hammer needs.
Yeah. That's very true.
But and all different size screwdrivers too. So as long as you know though what's in that toolbox, I think that's the key. That a lot of people don't know that. You're very much into all this stuff. I'm always into so many things, and I still don't know, but just maybe a tenth of everything out there, if that. So, but that's really what helps us get through things and do research and then have a positive attitude. A positive attitude. I mean, I could have taken a positive psychology degree because I love that stuff, and I think you do also. I
do too. Yeah, and you're always so up and positive.
Well, I try to be, but sometimes.
Well, sometimes we all, have our days when maybe things aren't going the way we'd like them to go. But for the most part, we're pretty positive people, and hopefully, we can spread that positivity.
Right. And I think what happens is if you feel positive and you have good, upbeat energy, it makes the room, it makes the person, it makes what you're writing on, anything, in that same light. Otherwise, I mean, I've had some people that I go into their office or something and I just want to put my head down, and it's not a very happy place.
Yeah, for sure. And that is another reason why a lot of people put their homes and their businesses, their offices on AIM. And it changes the energy of the space. Now, of course, the office space or the home doesn't have a life force because it's not a living thing. But it can change the energy within the home or within the office. And I know that we've had people come here in the office, or I've had people in my home, and they say, wow, it feels so good in here. What is it? What do you do? You know, do you have like a certain humidifier or, you know, all these technical things or things to plug in? And I go, no, it's on AIM. You know, and then they look at me and I go, I've told you about it.
Right.
That's why my lawn is green and I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, goodness.
So it is.
Yeah,
it changes
funny.
the energy within. And that's true. When you go into a group of people and you know if there's somebody in there that's just a negative person, you can feel it. And usually the positive energy outweighs the negative. You can usually, you know, hopefully turn people around. And crystals do that too. I've been getting into crystals more and crystal energy and getting different crystal vibrations on the AIM program to help us all too.
You know, that's interesting you say that, because I have some friends that their coffee tables filled with crystals all over. Tell me what they think it's doing and what is it doing?
Well, crystals have a vibration, and different crystals are for different things that are going on in your life. Like maybe you're trying to have a more positive outlook on life. Then you might use a particular crystal for that. Like citrine, it's a yellow-colored crystal, and a lot of people say it brings prosperity. So for traders or merchants and those, they used to use those words, but stores and that kind of thing, they used to call it the merchant stone. And a lot of stores would have a citrine by the cash register that would help. There's also different ones that will help. I'm wearing one right now, which is, I think it's called Shumalite. Let's see, what is it called? Shumalite. And it is for EMF, so from your cell phone, your TVs, computers, anything that emits an EMF vibration. And I wear this bracelet, and I have one by my computer in the offices. You know, all the computers have one near them. I have them at home. And then I also use pink quartz, and pink quartz is inexpensive. Some of them can be very pricey. But pink quartz I put by my bed, and it helps sleep. And then there's garnet, which I'm Czechoslovakian, half Czechoslovakian, so I've always worn garnets because my grandmother had given me garnets as a little kid because those were from Czechoslovakia, and she really wanted us to embrace our heritage. So I've always worn them, and I didn't know that they're very good for your heart and for blood pressure.
And what is it called?
That's garnet.
Oh, a
and
garnet.
Like a ruby red.
Yeah, I know that. And you mean you wear it in a ring on your finger?
I have them around my neck right now, but I do have a garnet ring, too. And I used to have earrings, but my earrings, I think I have to have them repaired. But I wear them around my neck, and I have for years and years. I have a little heart that my grandmother gave me. So I wear it around my neck. Okay.
Well, I know that people do. They do believe in a lot of that, and I think what can happen is when you think about the stones are made from energy, I believe, aren't they? All stones.
Yeah.
They're different kinds because the energy flow is from a different source or something. Maybe you know about that.
Yeah, for sure. They all have their healing properties, and I know some people that won't go anywhere without wearing a certain crystal. Like if they're going for a job interview, they have a crystal that they use for that. Or if they're going to work out, they'll have a crystal in their pocket. And, you know, all sorts of different things. I'm not that into it, but I do use them around the office a lot, and I do have them at home where I have them around to help. I mean, I'm not crazy with them. I don't have them all over, but I do have a few of them around.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. So when we talk, though, about the AIM program, I mean, you really are using computers. That's your big claim to fame, isn't it? So people should know that.
Yes, we do use a computer to find different frequencies, and then we program those frequencies into the computer, and those are what we generate to the folks that are on the AIM program so that they are able to pick and choose the frequencies that their body needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not everyone can do this. I want everyone to know you can't get on your computer and start figuring this out. I want to just tell you that Roberta and her wonderful Stephen, who has now passed away also, he passed away, as my husband passed away. They really developed this. Has it been going on 30 years? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Well, we've had the AIM program. It's 20 years this year, actually. We have our 20-year anniversary. But Stephen and I started with him in 1987, and he was working with it long before that. So it's been around for quite some time, and he was very good at computers. I mean, he kind of started off in computers and then realized he wanted to go into the healing arts. And he kind of went into naturopathy, chiropractic, acupuncture. He was a great herbalist. He got into all those kind of modalities, and that's how he came about with the program and trying to program these different frequencies in. And he came up with this, but it is based on people that have come before him, which one of them was Dr. Bohm. And I think Dr. Reif was similar, but I'm not sure we're but different. And there's a lot of scientists, German scientists, and that came before us, but kind of gave him an idea, and then he just expounded on that.
Right, and he actually made a whole group of it, a whole club. Like we're all part of a whole club. And wouldn't it be amazing, I know it's not possible, that we all met all together in one huge, couldn't be a room because you have so many members, but and the power and the energy in that one place, we'd blow up the room.
Yes. We could really get some things done, couldn't we?
Definitely.
We could make some heads spin, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, yeah, that energy.
A lot of power there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really interesting to be in a room with all people that are on AIM. Like sometimes I'm around, like just the office here, but then people come into the office to see the trays and things, and everyone's on AIM and feeling the same thing. And the vibration is pretty, you can feel it. You know, the positive energy is really amazing.
Yeah, right. Well, I think the whole system of what you have done and the fact that you've expanded it to people with specific challenges such as, autism and other kinds of diseases, it's not just generic. It's you've actually seen what it can do for people, kids and grown-ups that have, whether it's Down syndrome or autism. That really is hard to believe, isn't it? That you've figured that out.
I know. It's sometimes I almost every day I come in and I think, gosh, look at what I get to do for a living. This is pretty awesome. I never have lost sight of that, and it's pretty awesome because I hear about the kids and the adults that have autism and how they're excelling. And we've been able to find these frequencies to help them to tap into what it is that's going on with them and to bring it out. Because they're kind of trapped. They have a hard time sometimes expressing and things like that. So we've seen amazing things. Like we have one girl, which I probably have talked about her before, but she's now in her early 20s, and she's graduated from college, and she's gotten married. And she says all the time, she sends notes and says, I could never have done this without the AIM program.
Yeah, I'm sure
she's been on since she's been about 11.
Really? 11?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And was it because of her parents?
Well, she was actually, Wayne Dyer had met her, and he contacted us, and he said, hey, have you guys ever worked with autism? And we hadn't really. We didn't know anybody. Nobody had told us they had autism. So Steve said, hey, let's do an autism scholarship program under you, Wayne. So anybody that you come across and they have autism, we'll put them on for free, and we'll check them out, and we'll try and find different things that will help people, because the only way we can find different frequencies that might be in someone with autism that may not be in somebody else is by checking them. So we do have an autism program, and that's how she came about. And a few years after she was on, Stephen met her at a seminar that he was doing, and she stood up and she said, I used to have autism and I don't anymore.
Really?
And Steve said there wasn't a dry eye in the whole place because she was just adorable.
Right.
And he said she got up and talked about how she felt and the things that had changed in her, and her grandmother is her guardian. Her grandmother used to write her reports, but now she's been writing her own for, probably the last 7 years.
Huh.
Yeah, she's adorable. Great girl. She's just done fabulous. And there is different degrees of autism, so not everyone is going to have the same experience, but it helps everybody. There isn't anybody that I haven't seen it not help.
Well, and the fact that she could talk about it, isn't that interesting, that she knew what it was like, and now, what's happened?
Yeah, and it's just so thrilling to see. She sent us a picture of her grandmother, her and her husband. And it was really cute.
Yep. Well, that's what you do. So, I know that we talked once about the book that Stephen did with, let's see, what was his co-author? I forget.
Evan.
Yeah.
Evan Slauson.
Yeah. Are you going to get in the mood to write your own?
I would love to write my own book, but I'm not a very good writer, so I probably have to have someone help me.
Well, you could.
But I would love to, yeah.
Because
someday I'm going to...
I think you ought to think about that maybe, because there are things that you're doing now that, since Steve's gone, that he really didn't do, and maybe didn't see the same results early.
True. There's always a different perspective, yes.
Be ashamed to make it go, to waste.
Well, I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay, that's right. Get some of your positive energy going on that, right?
There you go.
And so how about some of the newbies that are coming in, people who have not really, they've been referred or they've come from your advertising or something? What kind of conversations do you have with them?
Well, I don't always talk to participants directly, so a lot of times it's either through my staff or through our facilitators on the outside that I get notes from them. But occasionally we have our Facebook page, and sometimes someone will write on Facebook and say, I've been on for, a couple months, and it's amazing. I'm feeling this, that, and the other. And so that's always nice to hear how they're doing. And a lot of people do let us know, hey, I'm having this challenge, or, I'm doing a lot better here. And a lot of times we tell, and our facilitators do tell participants to take a photograph of yourself when you first go on the program, and then take a photograph a year later and look at your photograph.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
A lot of times you change.
Huh. That really is. Of course, if you go to start at 1 and you go to 100, something's got to happen.
Absolutely. And you do look different. You look younger, we like to think. And I've been working on different frequencies to help us with anti-aging. And we all think anti-aging is just on the outside, but it basically starts on the inside with our organs. And so we're still working on those things. I've got so many projects going that I'm trying to add to the program to, have it expand and include different things. So that's one of them.
Right.
But taking your photograph, or even, making a journal, writing down what is it that you want to attain from the AIM program. What things do you want to change? Do you want a better job, a better relationship? Do you want clearer skin? Do you want, to have more energy? Whatever it happens to be, you can write it down, and then, take a look at yourself after a few months or a year. It usually takes about a year, I think. And then you can start seeing, and the changes are subtle, so you have to be kind of conscious of that. It's not going to be a lightning bolt hitting you on the head going, wow.
Well, do you ever get anybody says they want to have more money?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, we do. Especially when the recession hit. I had a woman who wanted to put her bank account on.
Oh, no. Wait. No, you're kidding.
She did. She put her bank account and she put her investment account because she was so nervous about it.
I think this is hysterical.
Yeah, and she did send us a note not that long ago, and she said, well, I didn't make a lot of money, but I didn't lose a lot of money. So she was happy with that.
That's a new one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I know we put animals on there and we do that, but it is, I think what it is you're just wrapping all the energy from yourself and the world into what's important for you. And that's really the way that it goes. Tell me about your facilitators. We don't talk much about them, and we have a little, just not too much more time, but tell me about them. How do you choose them?
Well, our facilitators are chosen pretty personally, actually. We have their supervising facilitator, which most of my facilitators have been with me since we began, so they've been with me almost 20 years. And they'll come across someone in their group that wants to become a facilitator, and so they'll have that person write them a note and tell them why they think they would be a good facilitator. And then I have the facilitator send me a note as to why they think this person would make a great facilitator.
Good. Well,
so we
at
kind
this
of do
point,
that.
I'm sorry, I just got the cutoff because that was good. Well, we can talk about that another time. But Roberta, thank you so much. It was absolutely wonderful talking with you.
It was great talking to you too.
It's amazing what we can do without a script, isn't it?
I know. We do pretty good, huh?
We always do. Thanks so much, Roberta.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.